11:09, August 1st. So, key point. I've said this before. I know these people are terrorists because they tried to recruit me to a terrorist agenda that I reported to the government and said they were fucking crazy. They wanted to control the world with information and blackmail. That's what they said via telepathy. And, control the world with information and blackmail, which basically means using intimidation and coercion to influence the policy of the government through blackmail. It also means using intimidating and coercing civilian populations through blackmail. And also with implantation, and that's how they try to blackmail people or even abuse people into compliance. That's terrorism, 1. 2, I also know these kids have conspired to use this tech like a weapon of mass destruction. One way I know it is because whenever I voice my concerns to the government, some of these idiots are always trying to orchestrate frames, what have you, or they'll try to orchestrate a frame and pretend it's a hint they're doing something shady. Or when they just see me voice my concerns to the government about the dangers of this tech, they all of a sudden try to impress some terrorist they hang out with and pretend they made an idea. So that's how I also know they conspired to use this tech like a weapon of mass destruction, such as putting these devices in people's hearts, linking them to one button, and killing 1 million people at a touch of a button. So how the fuck are these kids not in prison? And they're manufacturing this tech and distributing it illegally to all sorts of people. Not to mention, they may even consider it, if they have multiple units doing this, it may be considered such. But how are these guys not in prison anyways? This is ridiculous. And they're shocking my brain. And how are all the people lying for people using WMDs and distributing them, and using radiation dispersal devices and distributing them, and doing neurosurgeries without a license? How are they all not in prison? Not to mention using this tech without a license and operating a satellite without a license. How are all these maniacs not in prison? And what is this hustle? And how are these people committing repeated accounts of obstruction of justice and witness tampering not in prison? They just sit around committing obstruction of justice, making up shit, and threatening people with slander all day. How are they not in prison? That's called witness tampering. And I am a key witness to terrorism, as I've just explained numerous times now. So how is this maniac army involved with big-time witness tampering, which is 20 to multiple life sentences, not in prison? Who keeps entertaining these people's crap? Basically, these guys are terrorists, and then these people performing witness tampering for terrorists are terrorists as well. They're not just performing witness tampering for terrorists, they're performing witness tampering for terrorists, rapists, murderers, pedophiles, human rights violators, civil rights violators, people involved in organized crime, economic espionage, and more. And right now they're sitting here assaulting me, committing witness tampering. How is this army of maniacs not behind bars, and who the hell do these people think they are to sit around doing this, and who the hell's not arresting these maniacs?